Hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. On the air since 1990. And my guest is one of your favorites and mine, Shane, the singer, the songwriter, the fascinating person. And she's going to sing a wonderful new song she's written about Martin Luther King. We're going to see her new video, her music video about that, and she's going to talk to us about her life and her times and her talent and her involvement with the Martin Luther King anniversary. It's coming up on the anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech, which was
August 28th.
August 28th of 1963. And it will soon, as we film this, we are before August 28th, but when you see this, it will probably be after. So, but anyway, we are going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. and Shane's songwriting. And if we have time, we're also going to discuss the fact that Shane is very much involved with first responders in the September 9/11, you know, the 9/11 tragedy, and she will tell us her thoughts on that and her experiences in that. My guest, the fabulous Shane.
Thank you, Diana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be back here
My
on
pleasure.
your show with all of your audience.
Yes, and we're going to see a video that Shane, tell us about your music video.
Okay, I did this music video with Big Thunder Productions with James Tariaka and his film crew. Very professional. It was shot in the Hamptons, and just beautiful scenery, and it gets the message across that we've turned the page now. We've come a long way with equality and civil rights. Maybe not as much or as far as we'd like it to be, but we're moving forward. And somebody like me has heard that message from when I was this little. It stuck with me. It got me through so much inequality, discrimination, things that just weren't fair. And so here I am.
Excuse me, do you mean in your case misogyny?
In a lot of cases that and so much more. Being in the business world, being a female, I ran across discrimination even being white. Everybody discriminates, it seems, and then they want to look to the next person to solve it. How about we just all get along?
Racism in any, against any race is wrong. Against the white race, the black race, brown, red, yellow, every kind of racism is wrong. You know?
Age, creed.
Well, I'll tell you, because my skin is so pale, sometimes I'm insulted by black people in the street because I'm so pale. That is racism, and that is not allowed. That is against the law, and that is not a good thing to do. So racism is a bad thing no matter who's doing it.
Right.
Now, shall we look at your video?
I wish you would. It's beautiful. I'm so touched by the whole production and the way that it really, it's not just a song and trying to get ratings out. This is a beautiful message, and it's about brotherly love, and listen to the message, we all have to get along. I'm just giving new life to what was already said by Dr. Martin Luther King.
And now, Shane's new music video, a song about Martin Luther King Jr.
It's already done.
And that was Shane singing her new song, We've Got the Power, a song about Martin Luther King Jr. Talk to me. Tell me about what made you write that.
Okay. In all of my jobs growing up and being in the business world, it's a man's world, and good men had, you know, kind of reeled me in and mentored me, but I wouldn't quite get the same salary they got because it was a man's world. When I was growing up, things were a lot different.
Don't you think it still is?
Yes. I think it was a lot worse then. And all the way up into when I was working in law enforcement and switched fields, even though I was in a uniform carrying a gun, it was horrific. And so I didn't hate men, and I didn't hate blacks, and I didn't know what to think, but I just knew I was going to get through it, and I wasn't the only victim.
Were you getting problems from men and from people of color?
Oh yeah, in law enforcement it was first of all, they're like, you're the wrong color. I'm like, really? I'm an officer. I'm thinking.
Who said that to you?
The officers that were predominantly black. It was like, it was on.
Now, if you'd said to a black officer, you're the wrong color, you'd still be in jail, you know.
God forbid. It would have been so much worse. They were busting out my windshields and my cards, and I'm
Why?
like,
Because you're the wrong color?
They wanted me to quit because they thought that I took one of their guys' jobs, one of their buddies' jobs, and I said the wrong thing one day in lineup, and...
What'd you say?
Well, they asked, did anybody have anything, and I said, I had enough, and I said, yeah, I do. I said, if you have a problem with me, here I am. We can settle this in the parking lot.
Ooh.
Because I could fight. So my lieutenant, he actually pulled me.
her style. Good for you.
Pulled me back, and he was like,
that.
get in the command center now. And he yelled, line up, dismiss. And he said, they all have guns. They'll shoot you. And I said, I don't care. I have a gun too. I'm a sharpshooter. Half of them can't even pass their test. So he kept me in the command center for a very long time, the whole day, I believe it was that. And,
to protect you from the howling mob
me
of
from
your
them.
colleagues, yeah.
or them from me, I don't know. I think it was me from them, because he knew. I had enough. When you have to keep replacing your slashed tires, and you're running a unit in Department of Corrections with criminals, and it's no joke. You've got murderers, gang leaders, and it's not a joke. And then you're going to mess with the officers.
Look who's talking.
So,
Yeah.
you had a bad day today. You look beautiful. Everybody thinks that they look different. They're not happy with themselves at times.
I'm very happy with myself. I'm delusional. I'm happy with myself. No, okay, so now, so you don't hate men and you don't hate blacks.
Right.
Apropos of what? Why are you telling us this?
Well, back to Martin Luther King. I said, well, here's a guy. He was discriminated for no reason at all. I was taught about Martin Luther King from my parents, especially my dad. He'd have me sitting there watching these clips on TV and say, you got to watch this guy. I think he's really onto something. I think he's really sincere. He's not just saying that he wants to help the blacks. He really cares about just us all getting along and the brotherly love. So that's
what happened to him.
That's what I got out of it. Well, I figured I was going to end up that way anyway, so...
No, I mean, the government shot him because he said no Vietnam, and they said no Martin Luther King.
It could be that. It could be a lot of things. I know. It makes you wonder. I live my day. I've been through so much. I say, here I am. You want to kill me, and I die, I go to heaven. That's the way it is. And I'm a rescuer by nature because I always had to survive all my life. This was thrown on me. Even as a child, I was like, you know, taking care of my brothers and my sister. As a child, I'm the oldest. You know, you're the oldest.
You're like the assistant mommy.
Oh yeah, I was the mommy a lot of times, and I just always thought about others instead of me because it was ingrained in me.
Well, that's how they train women.
That you're selfish if you think of you.
Yeah, and that's our patriarchal system, you know.
So here I am, whenever there's like a riot or something going on, they just, what are you doing? What do you think about this?
Some help?
Yeah, what do you think about this? just tell me when and where and I'm there. So I was perfect to be in law enforcement, or perfect to be in critical incident stress management team, which was in...
What is stress management?
Critical incident, it is what it says, critical incident. Critical incidents are things with professionals. That's the way I was trained. It's an FBI specialized training under the director Roland Candle out of New Jersey. So it's special training where if you have officers that have problems with things that occurred on their job, with stress, depression, a good shoot. You know what a good shoot is? That's when someone had to save another's life and had to use the gun, and then they have guilt from that. They're afraid to talk about it. They don't want it on their record. All these things that others that are professionals that know about this, they're trained to, geared to go and help them. We're helping each other. They're our brothers and sisters. I was fortunate to have been involved in that because Roland Candle is the one that came to rescue me when I said, I'm not quitting this job, and he said, you're crazy. I said, I'm not giving them my job just because they want me out. And he said, fine, I'm going to call you every day because you're a candidate for suicide or you're a candidate for homicide. And we argued about that, but he made sure he called me every day.
Have you made up your mind yet? Which is it going to be?
I'm not sure. No.
Go with homicide. You can do a retake on that one.
As long as it's a good shoot. Anyway, seriously, you have to protect yourself. And there are times when you have to use force, and we all know about that, and protection and safety. But you don't want that. That's like the very last resort. But firefighters...
Okay. Now let's talk about... what does this have to do with Martin Luther King?
I just kept thinking about him, even though he had even... I think I was noticing growing up that even blacks were like trying to pull in different ways, like we can use this to do this, and all these other people.
You mean there was a lack of consensus among
all of the blacks in his community?
Oh, sure. Well, the Black Panthers at the same time were saying, burn, baby, burn!
Thank you, because that was of our era, and that's exactly what I saw also. And I don't want to...
I did that so well, didn't I?
Yes, you did,
Yeah.
and that's where it was. It was all violence, and he never swayed. And I felt in my heart, don't sway. And and I wasn't the girl anymore. I wasn't the officer. I was a person.
In other words, the example of his courage and ideal helped you to hold on to your ideal and your...
Yes, there was an innocence about him and a strength that I could relate to, and I don't know why. I'm not black. I'm not a guy. I have no idea. But
if you are black and if you are a guy, you are the best female impersonator I have ever seen. Well, they second best.
I can be very soulful when I sing.
Well, there you go.
Maybe it's in my generation somewhere. I don't know. I just, till this day, I have this need to want to reach out to others. I also have this faith that it's just this undying faith in God, because so many things that I've been through, I thought, just when I thought that I've seen hell, the worst hell, I didn't until I...
You haven't seen my apartment. I have to clean it up someday. That's bunnies like you would not. That's bunnies from hell. Oh, they eat people.
I've seen now I'm thinking about
England, I see France, I see Diana Montford Show. Yes, I'm keeping this on a serious intellectual plane.
Are we lightening it a little bit? I don't want to depress the audience, but I do see angels. I've always seen angels around me because I've been in the...
seen an angel. He's this bus boy down at the diner. His name is Uncle. He's so nice. Hi, Angel.
He's angelic.
It's a joke. Not a funny one.
No, I really see angels. I am inspired when I...
No, all joking aside, I totally believe you.
Okay. No, because a lot of people... There are people that will come up to me and say, there is no God. And they're offended because I mentioned God. Oh,
I've had in politics, yeah. They laugh in my face and say, she's a believer. Well, nobody knows one way or the other, so I'm half right.
And when I get my songs, they're so inspired. I am just a secretary taking shorthand because I'm amazed myself. It's a it's a conduit, or Yeah, I'm amazed myself, and I just try to write it down the best and precisely as best as I can. Even though I'm with producers or studio engineers who will say, "Oh, that doesn't go." Yes, it does. In the orchestra up there, not as high as the sky, just right here. Mm-hmm. Every musical instrument fits in, every heartbeat, whether you say it or you sing it. It's a heartbeat, it's communication. People need to communicate. If we would just communicate and not look to the next person to fight our battles and do the talking for us, life would get so much better. We would be able to communicate how we feel, we would be able to communicate what was lacking, we would be able to communicate what was right. It would be a balance. People would understand how to correct situations. We would get to work together. I know it's possible. You know where I found that out? Yeah. At the worst hell you can imagine, and that was at Ground Zero when I was...
Because you were a first responder.
When I looked and saw the brotherly love, I thought I knew what brotherly love was. I actually became a family. We were brothers and sisters and knew we were brothers and sisters. It was so dimensional, I can't explain it to you. It's like you knew each other all your life, and you know I've never met them, they never met me, and it was remarked several times in the course of the 4-month-long stretch that I had to stay there. And because our mission was to get New York back on its feet and our nation. So we had to put up this front that everything was going to be okay for each other, and we died inwardly ever since then, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm still going to counseling for that, and I'm much better because I'm able to talk about it. If you responded, and you really were a responder there, because I know about the cases that, of course, there are in every situation when money is involved. If you were a responder, I'm going to say this. If you have not come forward because you are so horrified because of the horrific scene you had to see and feel and hear, and you can't reach out, you can't communicate, please, I hope that you get this program and you see this. I'm telling you, please come forward, because we do care and you do need help. You need to get counseling to talk about it. There are people that do care. Forget about the lawsuits and the cases. You need help. If you are just sitting there waiting to die, eventually, mentally, it just chips away at you little by little, and eventually your body will be the last affected by it, and you will come up with that disease more so than normal.
You mean cancer?
Especially those cancers. But if you just get counseling and free up your mind and free up your spirit and your emotions, and you do have an illness, you have a fighting chance, because then you're not overwhelmed. You're not so overwhelmed and overtaxed. My therapy, thank God, I had never known my music was going to be saving my life. I don't know why I'm alive to this day. Eventually, after going to counseling for a long while, I started playing my piano. I didn't sing yet because a lot of people don't know it. I lost my voice and I could not sing. So when I was leaving and coming home from those long treks in New York and taking a few days off after being there months, and I just went to go to church and sing with the choir and realized I couldn't even sing with the choir, because I wanted to praise God and pray for those people of all those funerals that I've been to and all those rescuers that I knew, that were my family, that I knew one day I'm going to say goodbye to them. I'll never see them again, except when it's time for us to meet one day. I know that's going to happen. I saw God as strong as I saw the hell, and I saw angels, and I saw brotherly love, and because of the music, and that's why I'm here doing my music. But a lot of people that know me as a musician do not know the whole story behind all that. I'm still going to therapy, and
therapy why? To
I
forget
don't.
what you've seen?
No, that's why I ended up in therapy. I can't find a place to put. No one that was there when you first got there, I believe, can find a place in your body, your brain, or your heart for what you had to see and witness to get New York back on its feet.
What did you see?
It was horrific. I'm afraid that people that watch this that lost loved ones, I don't want to go there with that.
Well, but
it was horrific.
So those of us who don't know what you're talking about, what did you see?
It was a horrific scene. It was like an atom bomb. I'm going to put it this way. An atom bomb went off in the heart of New York City that I love so much, because I used to go to New York with my music and I played in the
so there were body parts and other...
Yes, and they were recognizable, but you had to look away, and when you looked away, because the mound was so big, you're looking away, and there's just...
of body parts?
It was a lot of building. It was a lot of building and a lot of heavy powder. It was heavy powder, like white powder, just coming from the sky, white and gray powder, as it was settling. And after a while, you're like, how am I even alive? We didn't have equipment. I don't know what an astronaut suit could not have protected you, and you knew that when you got there. You knew there was no one that was really going to survive. I was asked to respond. I was requested. Roland Candle had said that I, of all people, was personally requested to respond. Everybody was thoroughly looked over, and
why you?
That's what I said. And he said, just get your ass down here.
That they wanted to get rid of you, perhaps?
Well, after I got there, I was a little wondering, but I kind of knew in different things that I've been involved in government jobs and everything else. They know who I am, and especially after being trained and cleared for a weapon and all these things, and being with that specialized training. And he, I'm sure, had told the scenario of where I am, what I'm dealing with, and that he can trust me. It was a matter of trust, and I'm organized, and he would not have to tell me twice to carry out an order, or so that's all I know of him. But the powers to be, I don't know, and I won't know. But all I know is I was asked to go, and I said, why do you want? I'm not trained for a world war. That's what I'm thinking, and or a war on the country. That's what I'm. And he said, just get here, because I've been in 2 terms with Vietnam. He's highly decorated with fire. He was a fire marshal here and there, and with law enforcement. He has so many credits to his name. And he said all the things that he's ever been involved in. He said, I can't wrap my head around this, but I just need you, and I need you to activate and dispatch the rest of the team that are going to be cleared to come down here. Headquarters